everyone. The session is about to start, so please take your seats for the interview that is about to follow. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Internet Governance Forum here in Lillestrøm. My name is Zach Dans from the United Nations Department of Global Communications. I'm joined on stage today by Monsignor Lucio Adrian Ruiz, Secretary of the Dicastery for Communication of the Holy See. I'm also joined by Mr. Enes Hodžić from the Balkan Investigative Reporting Network of Bosnia and Herzegovina, as well as Mr. Jean de Dieu Ndika Masabo from Burundi News Agency, who will jointly be conducting the interview with Monsignor Lucio Adrian Ruiz. We are, of course, speaking to you from the 20th edition of the IGF in Lillestrøm, Norway, convened by the United Nations Secretary General. We have an incredible 8,000 people joining us on-site and online. The IGF has 150 plus sessions in the program. Yesterday, we officially opened the IGF with leaders calling for action and cooperation in a rapidly evolving digital landscape, including a message from the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. This morning, we had a lively panel in the plenary hall on AI and the future of work with government leaders, OpenAI, Meta, and the actor and activist Joseph Gordon-Levitt. As you know, we have many workshops and networking events throughout the week, so please make sure to take advantage of these exciting opportunities. Now, let us hear from Monsignor Lucio Adrian Ruiz. Gentlemen, over to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And Monsignor Ruiz, thank you for having this conversation with us. So, online trust is declining. We can witness it now. And what role can communities of faith play to restore respectful and reliable spaces on the internet?
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for the question. I think that the first thing that we need to have in mind is that the values are not something that is created in the internet. And the problem with the values is not, the first step is not the problem into the internet. The problem, that means the values and the problems are in the real life. Decline these values is a problem that we have in the schools, in the family, in the day by day. Well, the first step that we need to reinforce is to think about education, is to think in the power of the family, the life of the family. Because if we think that the problem is technology and we want to resolve the problem from the technology, we're wrong the path. No? Because the beginning is in our life. Well, the education and the presence, real presence, rich presence in the real life is the absolutely more necessary step to change everything. After we can think about the path to promote the values in the digital spaces. And there we need to promote the movement of the reality, the thinkers that can help thinking about the ethic, about the values, no? Promote all the initiative. And the third step is to create relationships between the different institutions and reality that has the capability to promote and to live the values into the network, but starting by the real life.
Monsignor, most citizens lack control over the platforms that they are using daily. What kind of digital governance model do you believe would be ethical, inclusive, and capable of responding to local circumstances?
Well, what kind of model? I think that the model is the model, as I have said before, that take and put together all the institutions that can help, that include all the thinkers and the actors that construct the society. Well, and this model of governance, I think to say, must have the enough power, no, or capacity to help the weakness people. That means if this institution or this governance is just a council, no, to talk good things, but they are not authority, they have not capacity to control and to help in the facts, there are not possibility to change the reality. Well, the balance between the exceed of control, no, is in the participation of all the stakeholders in the society. If we can participate all together, the families, the schools, the academic, the different part of the society, we can be sure that they are not a hyper control, but yes, the necessary control in order to help, because the weaker people cannot be and defend their own alone. Everybody of us, we need to be helped for that. Well, and the last one is a model of governance that is practical. That means that can take action in the real thing and not just in the concept or theories.
So here at the IGF, we can see that IGF is trying to include all those stakeholders in one place and talks about internet governance. And we can see that internet governance is really complicated, involving, as I said, many stakeholders, actors like government, corporate players, civil society. So how can religious voices be authentically engaged in these discussions, but without succumbing to party politics?
How can the church help the young people? Well, the first step to help is to think, to reflect, to study, to understand the problem, to understand also the challenge. I think, for example, before talk, you must think. No, and that's, we can apply this principle everywhere and every time. We need to know exactly the challenge, to think, to create a thought in order to understand exactly which is the challenge to act. That is the first thing. And that's, for that, in the first question, I said it's important to call all the institutions and to put everybody in relationship, to understand from the different perspective the challenge. We need to understand what happened. For example, in the artificial intelligence, it's not just one perspective that can give us the real dimension of the challenge. We need to see the problem from different point of view, different realities, and work all together. All the stakeholders, all the people, all the institutions must to understand and go deeply to the question. Well, That is the first thing, create the thinkers. After, act in an interdisciplinary way, holistic. Because if we work separately, we cannot help no one, because each one work seeing and thinking and acting in their own way, and that is not useful for no one. Well, the interdisciplinarity is the way to understand and also to act and apply solutions and development for the actual challenge. The other possibility is to create spaces for the young people, because that is the question, no? How we can help the young people, is to create the spaces and reality where they can share, ask, put the questions. Because in our experience, for example, is that the people in front of the big technologies and the big challenges, they develop very existential questions. Because the meaning of the life, the meaning of the existence is really touched by this challenge that comes from the technology. The artificial intelligence put in the mind of the young people very existential question that is necessary to reflect together and have the spaces where we can talk, think, and share. Well, for me, the possibility to help them is to offer spaces where we can talk and also to have the possibility to listen the other ideas, not always the same idea, no? Because we need to grow, and for that we need to contrast also the reflection and the thought. We have in this moment an experience that is the digital mission into the church, that we are trying to put together the young coming from the different parts of the world. In the next months, we will have a meeting in Rome in order to put the influencers, Catholic influencers, coming from all parts of the world in order to talk, to reflect, also to create and go information in front of the new culture. No? Well, that is the way for me that is necessary, no? And it's the opportunity to create a dynamic that can help the people to take the challenge and go on.
So, with advancing artificial intelligence, especially among the youth, how can the church be used to help young people look at both social and ethical sides of the technology?
For the creators. Sorry, there are too many noises. Can you repeat?
With the rapidly advancing artificial intelligence, especially among the youth, how can the church be used to help young people look at both the social and ethical sides of the technology?
Well, it's more or less what I said before, no? To create spaces, to create the way to make ongoing information for these people. The young people need to have the point of reference in order to learn, in order to teach, because they are rich, very rich people that can share their knowledge, their experience, their thought, their dream. Well, creating these spaces and creating realities where they can share their own challenge is the way. We need to stay with them. We need to work with them. We need to have the capacity to listen. This time, if we can imagine or have an idea of the big problem is from the adult word, we can say that we don't have the time to listen. And that is a problem, because the people feel that is alone and need to recreate their own world alone. We need to create spaces to listen, to share, and to trespass our values.
Yeah, so we spoke about the effects on the users. Jean asked you about that as well. But we also have to think about creators of digital technology because they play such a significant role in how we are living or communicating today. So what would be your message to look or to tell to them, to those who are contributing to shaping of the internet today?
No. Well, the first thing is I think that it's important to understand their role and the importance of their activity. Probably we talk about how many followers the content creator or influencer have, but we don't have the dimension of the power that they had to change the mind in the real life, minute by minute. Creating contents, they can manage or influence the life of millions of people. And we need to realize what is happening now, because that is the first time in the story that one people can touch the entire world in a second and move millions of people. And, well, the first step is we need to discover this reality and the power of these people. The second point is, after discover that, we need to create a path, a way to accompany them. We need to understand their mind, their problem, their world, in order to understand why and how they talk or they create their contents. In this way, we need to stay close to them, to discuss, to reflect, also to offer the possibility to formation. The other hand, a question for them is to say, listen, my friend, you have the capability to do something, and you are very powerful because you have many people that follow you, but you don't know everything. You cannot talk about everything in the world. You are not the truth, but the people trust in you. It's your own responsibility to learn, to study, to discuss, to ask for the different argument that you are talking about. That means there are two responsibilities for the society, for us, to form, to accompany, to discuss, but also from them to understand that they are not the truth and they don't know everything and deeply all arguments. That is important. And sometimes we can see that there are people that can talk about everything and in wrong ways.
Monseigneur, is it possible for technology to help the church, particularly in poor countries, to engage more intensely with the faithful, most of young people? How do we build an inclusive, participatory digital pastoral culture in local parishes?
Well, I think that the technology always can help when it's well used. In a hand, for them that are in this reality, poor reality or very difficult reality, because also with the lower technology, it can help to create community, to create dynamic for share, for stay together. we are experienced in Africa and also in Latin America that with very low technology, we are right to do very big things because the meaning and the sense of the community to share, to help, to study, that create dynamics that can really help the people to know and to stay together, to study, to develop, and when they have the possibility to do something more, they are ready, and that is important. Well, the other hand is a big possibility also to be helped, because the rest of the world can help permanently the people and share with them in order to help, to have a better life.
So my last question is somehow connected to what you have said, or you already answered to the last question of Jean. So the majority of countries remain inaccessible to digital access and know-how. How can church help to facilitate that kind of digital inclusion that we need today, that is decent with human dignity and local culture?
Well, there are 2 points of view from the society and from the church. No, from the society, not only Catholic Church. I don't talk for the Catholic Church, but for the religion in general. It depends on each culture. I think that it's important for the society to discover the role of the religion in the life of the people. And as a religion, not only for the practice, the cult practice, but for the vision in the soul, for the meaning of the life, for the objective, for the happiness, in this sense. No. The religion is the point in our life that can answer the bigger questions and give you the meaning for your life, the values to live your life. Well, and that must be discovered, the role, the presence, the necessity for everybody, because everybody in a time in their own life need or have a big question, because you have a problem in your life, you are sick, someone love you pass away. That means there are situations in the life where your life is touched for a question. This is the role of the religion. Have the answer for this moment. Well, if the religion can answer the big and most important question, the religion has a very important role in the life of everybody. And you can call this religion as you want, but it's the answer for the bigger questions, the existential question. That's in a hand. No? From the society, discover the role of the religion. When you discover this deeply presence, you can understand where and how can the religion help to design the life. For the other hand, from the point of view of the church, we need to learn how to talk with the culture, because sometimes our discourse, our words are not understood for the people. We are on a level, in a parallel language, situation, culture that no one can follow us. No, well, if we want to help the culture, if we want to walk with the culture, if we want to be present in the social discussion, we need to talk and to present our proposal in the language of the people. That is necessary to be understood.
Lastly, Monsignor, what hope or duty message would you give to young Africans and others across the globe who are living in rapidly evolving technological age without necessarily having the instruments of defense for their identity, values, or voices. Thank you.
Sorry, I have very bad sound. Can you repeat?
What hope or duty message would you give to young Africans and to others across the globe who are living in rapidly evolving technological age without necessarily having the instruments of defense for their identity, values, or voices?
Well, I think that have the dream and have the voice is not depend of the technology. The technology help to develop, to arrive harder or to be present in a different way. But the dream of the young people is something that comes from the heart, and we need to develop our hope and our dream because it's our life. Well, and I repeat always with young people all around the world, follow your dreams. Don't think only in the bad situation or the thing that you don't have or the thing that you want to have. Because your dream and your hope is your dream and your hope. And you must develop in your situation with in the reality where you are and where you have. Well, my message for them is follow your dream, put all your power to develop that, and have the courage in order to share your dream and your hope with the other and with the world.
Thank you, Monsignor Ruiz, and thank you, everybody, for following us at this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monsignor, for sharing your insights, and thank you to everybody who attended in person and online. This interview was streamed and can be viewed on UN Web TV in the future. This concludes our session today. Please join us for the next few days on this stage for more Media Hub interviews. Thank you all.